Hello. I thought it was time for an update because it's been just over 10 days since I did my last update. So we're still here, we're still locked in Shanghai, locked in our homes. For those who haven't been watching my other videos, you can watch them here just to get up to speed and know what's going on. What was supposed to be a 5-day lockdown officially, that started for us on the 1st of April. Eventually turned into an 18-day lockdown, which then turned into what is it now, 23rd, so 23 days. And now we've been told, according to the latest news, we're not being released until the 5th of May. So that basically what they do, they keep postponing the date of opening up. So I think, yeah, at some point they said the 18th, then they found more positive cases in our compound that pushed it further. I remember to the 28th. Then the 28th became the 30th of April. Then the 30th of April became the 3rd of May, and the 3rd of May has now become the 5th. So you can easily see how just because now they say the 5th, it doesn't mean it's going to be the 5th, because the goalpost is the same in that they want 0 cases, and until they achieve that, they will keep unlocking people in their compounds as soon as one single positive case, asymptomatic or symptomatic, that doesn't matter. As long as a single case is found within the compound, the whole community, the whole compound will be locked for 14 days. The morale is starting to get low. People are starting to complain in my compound. I've heard of rumors that people are getting frustrated and angry, understandably. But it's interesting that some of them are actually blaming the committee, the neighborhood committee, saying that they're not doing a good enough job. Which is interesting, because what do they mean by a good enough job? Do they mean, some people are saying, oh, why do we keep getting positive cases? Why do we keep getting positive cases? And I'm sat here thinking, well, you have been testing 26 million people over the past month. It used to be every other day. Now they're testing people every day. Every day we do a COVID test. For the past now week, it's been every day. So they keep calling us on the megaphone every morning. We don't know the time, it's never scheduled, so it could be 8 in the morning, it could be 10 in the morning, it could be 11, you don't know what time you should wake up. You just need to be on, alert, all the time. They call you, come down to do your test, and it's been, so every day. So, as I was saying, I'm here sat thinking, well, when you do test that many people, this is like basic science, this is basic epistemology. The bigger your sample, the more you're going to find of whatever you're looking for, obviously. So yeah, people are like, oh, how is it possible that we're still finding positive cases? I think it's quite feasible. So it's interesting that people are not questioning the approach. Instead, they just, well, some of them are. But some of them are just saying, oh, the fault lies with the people in charge of our compound, because what? They haven't been doing a good enough job at doing. I mean, what more can you do other than locking people in their homes and not allowing them to leave for anything, including buying food, including buying medicine? What more can you do? And mandating that whenever you sit in our building at the moment, touch wood, because there's no positive cases in the building, we are allowed outside of the building as long as we stay within the compound. So we can't get out of the gate, we can't get onto the street. But I can, for example, walk to the front gate, to throw away the rubbish or get a delivery. However, if I had a positive case inside my building, then I would be stuck within the building, within my flat for 7 days, and then 14 days within the compound. That's the way they work. 7 days, 14 days, and then if no cases are found, you are free to roam around your neighborhood, no further, the neighborhood only. So people are getting frustrated, but I managed to get beer. It's not been easy. I placed 2 orders, 1 2 days ago. They didn't deliver it and they took my money. Another one yesterday, same thing, didn't deliver it, took my money. I thankfully applied for a refund and I got the refund. And then there was a group on WeChat, WeChat being the Chinese version of WhatsApp. I don't know if you've been following my other videos, so you will know that the only way really at the moment, mostly to buy food reliably, is to join these groups of neighbors and order in bulk. So a group was set up to buy, I thought it was quite hilarious, to buy cigarettes and booze. I'm thinking in this situation, that's probably after food and water, the next thing you need, and medicines, of course, the next thing you need is cigarettes and booze. I can imagine the smokers without their cigarettes, they must be going crazy. And for me as well, I mean, I'm not a habitual drinker. I'm not a daily drinker, although this situation has turned me into a daily drinker. So much for doing it for your health, hey. I managed through my group to get some beers, not a lot. So I'm trying to get more. So the food situation is better. I now have my fridge. My fridge is pretty full. We received a few days ago from our employers, from my employer anyway. I received, along with my colleagues, we received a box full of food. Quite a generous box, to be honest. There were a lot of eggs. There was quite a lot of meat and quite a lot of vegetables. Uh, Quite frankly, more food in terms of vegetables, more than I can consume within a week. So I'm very lucky in that respect now. Obviously, once I finish that, I think we're back to square one. The government also, as you might have seen in some of the short videos that I posted, they sent some food as well. Not as generous as the one I got from my employer, but every little helps at the moment, right? So, and also the other day I was quite chuffed that I managed to get a takeaway, which I thought was impossible. There are increasingly more restaurants that have opened again, and they've started to do that. Although they've put the prices up by quite a bit, I understand these business owners because they've lost a lot of money and they're trying to make up for it by increasing the prices. But also, it's not very nice that we have to bear the brunt of it as people that are shut in here. We have no choice basically. So it's like you want to eat, you're gonna pay an extra, I don't know, 20%, 25%. Some restaurants, they put the prices up by quite a lot. There's this local restaurant called Shaxian, which does very simple, very relatively cheap food. Normally, you can get a meal for like a set meal for about 20 RMB, 20 yuan. That same meal, they've put it now at 37. So I'm rubbish at maths, but that's quite a big increase in price. So there you go. Another thing that's been interesting is to see how the paranoia and the panic now is starting to spread. Because what's happening now is that you sort of like bear the responsibility of your entire neighborhood. In that, if you get COVID, if you're positive, then everyone else living in your compound is locked because of you. So you can see that there's starting to be this like network of like neighbor surveillance where people are spying on each other. But yeah, you I see these conversations online of people saying, "Oh, I saw so and so the other day, like a group of old men, and they weren't wearing a mask. They were sat on a bench not wearing a mask. Should I call the police?" Or you get people telling you, "Oh, when you go collect your deliveries, you must spray it with a disinfectant. You must do this. You must do that." And to be honest, it's getting to the point where it's quite a suffocating kind of atmosphere to live in, because you feel watched all the time. Never mind, I mean, there's cameras everywhere, so but you feel watched now by your neighbors as well. The other day, I went to pick up a delivery, and there were two women there also doing the same, and they were just spraying everything with their disinfectant. And I didn't do that. I didn't have it, so I actually felt very nervous that they were going to look at me not doing that and thinking, oh my god, they might report me to the whatever. So it's starting to get a bit much from a psychological perspective. I'm thinking of leaving for a bit if I can, until sort of things let's say not go back. I don't think things will go back to normal anytime soon. And what is normal? I mean, the world has not been normal for a couple of years at least. But things get a little bit better. Until things get a little bit better. And it's interesting because there is no plan, there's no regulations in place for foreigners, non-Chinese citizens that want to go back to their country. In a way, it's kind of like, officially, of course, we're not held here. It's like there's still planes, there's still flights out of Shanghai. So in theory, we could leave whenever we want. But in practice, many of us are actually kind of stuck, because if you want to head to the airport, if you've got a flight and you want to head to the airport, there's hardly any transportation. We heard of a guy who walked for 9 hours to get to Pudong Airport. Quite the legend, as somebody said, indeed. There's some very limited. Well, no one knows what's going on. Some people are saying, oh, the airport shuttle bus is still running. Some people say, no, it's not. Some people say there's a few taxis, but most taxis are not available. However, there are some private drivers who have, for some reason that I don't know, they have a permit to drive around the city, because at the moment you're not allowed, even if you can get out of your compound, you're not allowed to get in a car. That's strictly forbidden. You can only use a bike. So I think no motorbikes, if I am correct, and no cars, because you cannot cross into a different district of the city. So some people, for some reason, they manage to get these permits, which means they can drive around the city, and they've been making extra money by driving people around. So some people are saying you can contact some of these drivers if you manage to, and prices are ridiculous to get to the airport, because of course no one is driving you, and these people are taking advantage of the situation, as the joys of the free market. But then again, pick your poison. What do you want? So I don't know. It will be difficult. Also, if you are stuck in your compound, as I am at the moment, if you're in quarantine, you cannot leave the compound. So if you want to head to the airport to go back to your country, you need to apply for a special document from the committee of your neighborhood to allow you to go back to your country. So interesting times we live in. I'm going to conclude by sharing some statistics that I got, which I think it's good to keep an eye on the official situation. So these are the latest that I got, that my friend kindly shared with me, from the 22nd of April, updated to the 22nd of April. New local cases in total, 1,932 confirmed symptomatic people, so with symptoms, and 15,698 asymptomatic, no symptoms. So the vast majority of people remain, they continue to display no symptoms whatsoever, which is interesting when you think about what does it mean. Should it not be good news that people are getting this and they're not even getting ill at all, let alone having mild symptoms? Actually, the vast majority of people, they don't get ill at all. Isn't that a great sign? You would think so, but clearly not. Clearly not. Now I'm gonna read this article from. This is not my information. This is from the Shanghai Zhebao. So the Shanghai Daily, if you will, although I think the official English name is Shine. And I quote, this was, by the way, the 14th of April, so it's been a while. 9 COVID-19 patients among Shanghai's surging number of infections are in serious condition. 9 patients out of all Shanghai infections. In serious condition, mostly seniors with underlying diseases and without vaccination. Apart from a 33-year-old patient, all the other cases in severe condition are between 70 and 93 years old. They all have serious underlying diseases, such as severe immune disease, advanced tumor, severe cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases, as organ failure, said Wu Qianyu, a senior Shanghai Health Commission official. Most other local COVID-19 cases are asymptomatic or have shown mild symptoms. Only a few infections show normal symptoms, she added. So the city, this is still the 14th of April. Back then, the city had reported 2,573 locally transmitted cases and 25,146 local asymptomatic infections on Wednesday. Meanwhile, a total of 16,143 COVID-19 patients were discharged from local designated or makeshift hospitals. From an article that was then published a few days later, also on Shanghai Zhebao Shine, on the 17th of April, we get more information about those people who are in serious conditions. I quote, "A smaller portion of Shanghai's new COVID-19 positive cases have been detected during nucleic acid screening among high-risk groups. Some 97% of the city's 24,820 new positive cases reported on Saturday were found among those who were already under central quarantine. Though the daily number of new infections remain at a high level, the number has been relatively stabilized," Wu told the city's daily COVID-19 press briefing. 16, so now the number of patients in serious conditions have gone up to 16 out of the Shanghai population of 26 million. 16 COVID-19 patients among Shanghai's surging number of infections are in serious conditions. Yet again, mostly seniors with underlying diseases and without coronavirus vaccination, said Wu. Apart from a 33-year-old patient, so this is the patient from earlier, the younger guy, the outlier, all the other cases in severe conditions are between 70 and 93. They all have serious underlying diseases and only one of them has received the vaccine. But check this out. The younger patient, who is also in serious conditions, has severe immune diseases and requires hemodialysis. So it's interesting. The 33-year-old patient who's in serious conditions actually has a severe immune disease. That's interesting to know. So that's the situation, which is interesting. And I'm going to read some of the comments that people posted under these articles, whose views do not represent my views, by the way. I'm just merely reading people's comments. Somebody said, why wait until after the lockdown to vaccinate the elderly? Should be priority now. And somebody else said, it's all pretty stupid if you ask me. Get the old vaccinated, let everyone get out. Because we've been locked down for 20 plus days. My building now has abnormal tests. From the previous article, another comment. In more than 100,000 cases, 9 unvaccinated are serious. Economic impact priceless. Way to go, Shanghai. Somebody else. So since March, there's been 200,000 cases in Shanghai and 9 are serious. So that's a whopping 0.00045%. You read that right. I haven't double checked these figures, by the way. This is this data from the people who are posting the comments, so this is not my data. At what point do you consider the solution worse than the problem? Anyway, this is it, folks. I hope that was that provided some more information, some more context, and I will keep you posted. And before I go, by the way, for those who are new to this channel, this is my music channel where I post music that I write and compose, mostly cinematic instrumental music at the moment, though that might change. So, you know, if you are into cinematic, orchestral, slow, relaxing instrumental music, be sure to check it out. This is my latest composition, and thank you for watching.